Greetings, dear ones. Happy, holy, sacred, amazing time we are in. Today is Friday, the 10th of April, Good Friday, and we are still experiencing a very new way of life, a new way of being, giving us an opportunity to choose and create the world that we want. And we have lots of energetics to assist us today. I am very, very happy for anyone that is joining us to be able to experience some of the incredible offerings from different beings, different energetics, aspects of nature, etc. Um, for those of you who have been listening to these Friday sessions or have joined me in any classes or groups, you have heard me speak of this unprecedented time. Many people have been referring to it as such, but in actually experiencing some of the opportunities and potentials rather than the discomfort and loss that many are feeling. And while there is a great deal of pain and um, suffering in many, many ways, not just physically, not just those who are experiencing the virus itself, but those that are still out in the fray and in danger. We had a lovely Sacred Sisterhood Circle last night, and one of the participants' husbands works in retail in one of the stores that is still open for our benefit. And excuse me, he has to go through a great deal in his work and in coming home and shedding of the clothes and anything and everything that could have been um, infected or received some of the germs, bacteria rather, or germs of the virus. Um, I'm reluctant to talk about the virus a great deal because I don't think that's the absolute focus of what's happening. It is the means by which we have all, on a soul level, chosen to really change our world in not just slight ways, but very, very radical and permanent ways. Um, though there's two different movies. Those of you who've worked with me know that movies play a great part in a lot of the information and guidance that comes in. It also gives people the opportunity to actually feel a transmission of an energetic, whether it's something that they're connected to or something that is currently presenting itself for our benefit. And somehow the graphic artists are tapped into a universal informational source, be it the what I call the universal wide web. And not only are we deeply connected into that web, but all of the um, information, images, uh, energetics, beings, myths, stories, legends, everything that we have experienced as humans throughout our time on this planet, as well as that which is in the cosmos or in the universe. So, oftentimes, as do scientists, they will speak about something just popping in. So, oftentimes, those images are very, very strong and very, very powerful through movies, through art, of course. And this is one of many, many sources that we have for help. Right now, one of the, I guess it's more the title than anything, because I really didn't, until I did some research, know what this movie was about. But the title is Stop the World, I Want to Get Off. And it was first a musical in England, I believe, before it came over to the United States and became a movie, which they changed. And the plot is very interesting if you get a chance to look it up. It is about a man who um, really experiences a great deal in his life. And of course, it isn't until late in his life and looking back that he realizes what was very important, and all the other things can fall away. And that's one of the amazing opportunities that we have in this slowing down or stoppage, is to actually reevaluate and reassess what it is that we want in our personal lives. We generally are moving so quickly. Our lives have been so complex, so full, so spread out, that it becomes difficult to take the time to really feel into ourselves and really feel into our lives and make the choices that will benefit not only us individually, but our family unit, our community, our cities, our countries, our globe. So this is, if it was just for a couple of weeks, it would not really give us the full out picture of our lives. We would just push through it and then back to normal. The extended time that the virus is allowing us to be quiet, to be slow, to be inside, not just in our homes, but inside our bodies, inside our psyches, inside our spiritual world, our inner spiritual world. And that's why we call this in. This is not, we are not victims of either this particular situation or anyone else. We live in a free will universe, and as souls have every right and every opportunity to choose what we want to do and how we want our lives to be. Many people don't like hearing that, because that implies actually taking responsibility and kind of maturing spiritually to a place where you can choose. Um, and that's the great opportunity right now. We as a species have been very young, very crude in our exploration of the duality, the form of duality that we have experienced, and we've experienced it full out. There isn't much more that we can learn from the form of duality that we've been living in, with that pyramidal structure where very few at the top hold power and the um, resources and attempt to hold everyone else in an oppressive state to maintain that. So this is a time unprecedented, not only on our planet, but this is unprecedented in the universe, because we are attempting to make an evolutionary leap, not just a step forward. A step forward would little by little bring us over the next couple few hundred years to a possibly more advanced state, not just technologically, but in our human nature makeup. This is an amazing leap from a very immature species to a much more mature way of duality. We're not going to jump to non-duality because that's where we come from, and what's the point of that? We are here exploring something. We've chosen to explore something different. The amazing thing is that the galaxy, the supercluster of galaxies, and the universe is evolving all at the same time, and we're very much a microcosm of that evolution. So we're kind of the game board, and you have chosen to be here in this particular at this particular time in this particular venture. So please honor and recognize and value yourself for what you are doing and being a very vital part of it. The card chosen today, I don't know if you can see that. Oop, not good with the camera. Is My Existence Matters. And there is purpose to my life. My very existence on the planet matters. And that's what each of us must really come to feel, so that we can drop into those creation energetics that we particularly hold. And each one is different, and be able to create. Science, physics are proving daily that we live in a universe that is a net or a web, a field referred to as the Higgs field, and we all participate in the creation of not only this planet but the universe. So this isn't just woo-woo. Some of the just looking at my notes to see some of the guidance information that came through. And I know this is very difficult for everyone. And those that are listening now, I would, invite you to share some of the challenges that you've been experiencing. Next week, I am going to be holding through Zoom the Applied Earth Magic course. There's going to be 4 more classes. Please look into the possibility of joining me for that, because as a group, our power expands exponentially. So with each person bringing their own form of creation and learning how to tap in and cooperate and collaborate with the earth and the earth energetics, as well as those of the cosmos. So please call me for any information on that. The information is also posted here on Facebook. So it's really, really difficult to oftentimes hear that about we are in an unprecedented time of creation and you can create the world you want, when we are all in such discomfort and many are in pain and suffering, physically, economically, emotionally, all different levels. But this beautiful way our souls decided to compel an evolutionary leap is certainly much less damaging and much less painful than a world war, which would drastically change the world in many ways. However, it would also maintain the old way of a few people making a lot of money and most of us bearing the weight of it. So this is a global effect. Everyone is touched by this, if not in their country with the actual virus to the extent that others have been, but certainly economically, revealing to us how globally interconnected and interdependent we are, and how that can be changed for much more local communities or local economics. Are we going to continue with the large corporations and large entities holding and deciding for the masses? Or are we going to be in a much more equalized interchange of ideas and products and innovations. So we are moving towards that if we have that opportunity. And we see that in so many ways. Our food sources. There is never a lack of food. It is the distribution and the avenues or channels of uh, the where the food goes and who it goes to and how much it's paid for, etc. So we see so many different things that we never even thought about. It never came into our conscious awareness. We took it for granted. It was going on all the time. So more than ever, things are going to be revealed. I've said, if you've been working with me over the past several years, you know that I've said this current administration and the strengthening of dictators and tyrants around the world, even changing their governmental structure, as ours is attempting to be changed and has done in Russia, in Europe, in multiple countries, and down in South America, Bolsonaro. Many are changing their structure so that they can be in power for a lot longer. This is the old way. It's not going to win. It just is outdated. There isn't the support for it, i.e., the blindness, the lack of education, the lack of knowledge. We have this blessed World Wide Web that enables information to move all around the world, for individuals to be able to reveal with their cameras what is really going on rather than take it from media sources or limited, controlled media in countries where those tyrants are in power. It just cannot be any longer. So then that implies what not only our freedom opportunities, but what responsibility we're going to take. So we have so much potential in this moment. And again, I'm going to be teaching a lot more open groups, courses, really helping you to find your way. Not my way, not someone's way, not a structured way that must be followed, but opening up your own intuitive and your own intuitive abilities, your own inner wisdom, your own connection to your soul's wisdom. So heads up for all of that. This is a very, very special week for many, many reasons. We have a lot of different energetics that are here to help us. This is, of course, a holy week for two major traditions. We have Passover, that in this particular instance, it represents the freedom, these Jews coming out of slavery, hundreds of years of slavery in Egypt. And this is an opportune time for us to come out of the slavery of the old way, the structure that I was referring to earlier, the old way of being, with the handing off or feeling you have no power and that others decide for you and that you are merely a pawn or a victim in this process. So you have every opportunity now to step out of that slavery and into a spiritual freedom, a physical freedom, a political freedom, an economic freedom. And today, of course, is Good Friday. And when I was sitting preparing in meditation for today, what came through is that this is a representation of the deathing of the third dimensional confines. So we live in this dimension. We've chosen to, that's our experience, but we are not confined by it. Many ancient traditions speak of this as an illusion. I don't care for that word because it has so many different implications. For me, this is, I like the analogy of a movie. We're in a movie and the script can change. The major players can change. We are we are the script writers of our own life and of this greater life. Someone that's joining us commented, "Freedom is not free," and that is true because we have to participate in it. We have to choose. We have to make an effort. If you don't want to see the huge farming, the inhumane way of treating animals, then that's going to entail making some cuts in one area of your life to perhaps support the more free range farming and or eating less meat, or however you choose to do so. But it does take participation and it does take some sacrifice. So certainly we're seeing that in the history of these two large spiritual traditions, that there was some sacrifice. So today, representing the deathing of the third dimensional confines, because we have access to an inner wisdom that is our spiritual being, it is our spiritual self. We have access to information and assistance and guidance from beyond this limited dimensional experience. Call them what you will, angels, teachers, masters, guides. The information comes from all different sources. Nature is constantly teaching us. We have animal teachers. Spider is what the animal teacher that came forth today, which represents creation and infinity, and how we can design through that web, through the Higgs field, how we want our lives and our world to be. One of the other very, very powerful energetics is coming from a couple of them coming from the cosmos. Venus, I don't know if you've noticed, for the past several weeks has been extremely bright, extremely present, extremely accessible, meaning she's been very, very low in the sky. Several weeks ago, the moon and Venus were so close. I was actually looking out my window over the shoulder of a client. This was when we were still not in lockdown. And I was shocked by how close and how low they were to the earth. So the energetics from the moon, the very, very feminine, the very present, the very revealing, the light of the moon reveals so much, even in darkness. So I think the moon has been brighter. I know that even on nights when it's not full, I've gone outside and can literally read a book. It's shining so strongly. And right now, this week, we had the pink supermoon. Again, that feminine energy, the color pink, which is the fourth level of the energy field corresponding to the heart. And that energy being very accessible for us through the feminine way. And again, those of you who have been working with me have heard me speak about the feminine way. The old pyramidal structure is based in a more masculine way of, again, the domination, the control, the power over, the oppression. And it has nothing to do with men and women per se. It is just a different way of being, or a different way of um, existence, or accomplishing things. The feminine way is more about connection and communication and collaboration and cooperation and communing with one another. And that's the opportunity we have on a global basis right now. We see that in a lot of back and forth. Countries are helping one another, either with information back and forth, um, uh, sending people, qualified people, sending medical personnel to hotspots. Um, we have an exchange of technology, a bursting forth and a birthing of innovation. There is so much going on that represents and that supports and really anchors in this feminine way of connecting, communicating, cooperating, collaborating, and communing. And you can act that out in so many ways in your own home, in your own, first and foremost, in yourself. Because if you're not connected and communicating with all parts of you and collaborating with mind, heart, spirit, physicality, then you're continuing that separation. And that's first and foremost in my teaching always, is that inner collaboration, communication, connection, cooperation, and communing that then allows you for applying that in your innermost circle with your family and friends, co-workers, um, neighbors, community, city, nation, and on a global basis. So that's that circular point. I don't know if many of you were seeing last week's, I explained that, where you are the dot in the middle and you reach a circumference around you through family, friends, co-workers, and that comes back inward towards you, a back and forth. And then that center point becomes a larger circle with a back and forth, and it continues on such that you are able to reach a global community, and they are able to reach you, whether it's an exchange of products, knowledge, um, innovation, so many things. So that feminine is very, very strong right now, that feminine way. It has been, and this week we have the opportunity to access it, which we are going to. We also have the ancient representations of this time, this cycle of the earth, springtime. Ostera was one of the major goddesses, which is where we have Easter. And in many different cultures, this represents a birthing, a blossoming, a blooming, a coming forth, fertility. So we have that energetic to include in our practice today. Those of you who are here on the East Coast, and actually this went all across the country, there have been huge winds, and the wind is presenting itself in, symbolically in the winds of change, a cleansing, a moving. One of the participants last night in the Sacred Sisterhood Circle was really bringing forth this awareness of how, with the lack of pollution, everything seems brighter and the colors stronger and crisper. And whether it's in the daytime with the plants and the flowers and the trees, or at nighttime, able to see the stars so much more. So there's a visibility that is being brought, and a cleanliness. Again, following along the lines of this newness of the springtime. And as well, there's always an area of the earth that is in collaboration with us and cooperation with us. Many years ago, I would sit before my meditation and literally spin a globe, a physical globe, and close my eyes and stop it, and that's where the earth and I would be collaborating on that day. I don't use the globe itself anymore, but on a daily basis, there is some aspect of earth or an area of earth or a location on earth that does present itself um, for benefit to me, to whatever I'm working on, to my clients, and it will present itself. Again, that's that ability to stretch beyond the third dimension and receive all of this beyond physical assistance and guidance. And today, for the past 24 hours or so, Iceland keeps showing up. And Iceland is a very, very special country. They still recognize and governmentally make decisions in cooperation with the magical beings. There's a very, very deep magic. There's many forms of magic. There's many representations of magic. And again, I love the line in Thor. He is speaking to the scientist, the girl he falls in love with, and he says, in your ancient world, it was called magic. Now you call it science. Where I come from, the two are one and the same. So we refer to magic as something that is only in story and legend and myth, but in fact, it is simply another vibrational energetic that we can access. Now, again, there's many flavors of that and many forms of that. Each person has their own way and connection to that variety of forms. And we're going to be sinking deep into a matrix. Again, one of the participants last night brought forth that she had created a plot of land growing a vegetable garden, and the way it laid out with the design of her yard, it actually looks like the tree of life. And we're going to be dropping deep into the roots of that tree, that where a matrix of creation can be accessed. So I know that's a lot, but I'm going to invite you to listen to this recording over and over again for the healing meditation that we're moving into at this moment, as well as any of the information. And please write to me, contact me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram for any questions or clarifications. And the more you access, I have a lot more of these recordings on YouTube. The YouTube channel is A Healers Universe, and I try to post them all. You can go back and listen to them for information and tap into the energetics of the healing meditations always. The oils were very present today in this message. These are Young Living essential oils that I've been using for over 22 years, and they are very accessible in their knowledge and wisdom. So they called forth the message of Envision oil was going on the first chakra. So I'll just tell you the message. It was, as you envision walking your new path, it will enable you to follow your innate into the future, speaking the wisdom of your truth, so that you feel the sense of hope within who you are and how you present yourself in the world. anchoring in to the sacred mountain. The sacred mountain is what we always, shoot for spiritually. So anchoring you in as the sacred mountain, reprogramming the way you think so that you catch the dreams of, so that you catch your life's dreams, surrendering to the desires of your heart and your heart energy, and realizing the blessing that can come. I'm sorry, that was surrendering to your ability to tap into other knowledge from beyond this third dimension, and thereby realizing what a blessing you are in your being here on this planet. So without further ado, if you are attuned energetically or have worked with me before, you know that not only am I speaking from kind of an intellectual way with a lot of information, but that is setting up the energetics. They've been coming in and creating a sacred geometric configuration as I speak. It has been set up in such a way that not only those who are listening, who may be listening live, but those that are going to be listening in the future are also included. Remember, with energetics, there is no confinement of time and space. So if you are listening months from now, and you will still be able to tap into the energy. So it is known that you are going to be a participant in this. So just find your sits bones. If you don't know what those are, if you kind of feel right in the very center of each of your bottom cheeks, you'll find a rather sharp bone, and you really want to try to situate yourself on those sits bones, which then allows your skeletal structure to do what it's designed to do and hold you up, so that you don't have to hold yourself up or effort in sitting during the energetics. And we all do. We have a tendency to hold ourselves up. I'm just seeing right now, I forgot to mention that we have the beautiful unicorn energy here today as well. And that is, again, that representation of magic, something beyond what you can imagine. So once you've found your sits bones, just allow the chair or the couch to hold you up. And I always invite people to say the following, because it calls in the different parts of you. And you can say it quietly, or if you're in a space where you are able to say it out loud, sometimes that feels more powerful. I ask and I allow my body. I ask and I allow my energy field. I ask and I allow my wider self. I ask and I allow my guides and teachers and masters. I ask and I allow all parts of me. I ask and I allow all times of me to join me here and now, assisting me in dropping down and inside of me, into my inner verse, into the depth of my being. So often we are trained or taught or learned to go out through the third eye to somewhere outside of ourselves or into our wider mind, which oftentimes excludes the many parts of us. So we are very inclusive in this practice of all parts of you, whether you deem them helpful or hindrances, whether you deem them good, bad, dark, light, beneficial, detrimental. It doesn't make any difference. It is all you and all welcome and all included. For otherwise, we are perpetuating separation within ourselves and in the larger picture or reality. So we're going to just give it a couple minutes because this isn't something that happens on the drop of a hat. We generally, as a society, as a species, push our energy fields up and run things from our head and our will, shouldering things, pushing through, using our force. And so it does take a bit to allow your energy field to come down and in you, your body, so that you can simply allow for the energetics to lead you without you having to do a thing. For allowing has no effort whatsoever. We have so much help here today with all the many energetics I'm going to name once again. But as part of our primary structuring of this sacred geometric, we always have Michael in his protection and holding mutual duality. We have the divine feminine, and yesterday was my mother's birthday, a very special being. So I'm going to call upon her as well as Mother Mary, who is so very much a part of this day, this Good Friday, in her acceptance of what she knew must occur and being right there as part of it. I'm also recognizing and calling upon Tara and her power, her feminine power in many forms. I call upon Kuan Yin as a representation of feminine compassion. I call upon Sophia, representing feminine wisdom. Amma, representing feminine tenderness. And the Great Mother, representing abundanza. There is always more, that encircling of her arms of us. I call in and call upon Delphinion, our master gatekeeper, to open all doors, portals, and passageways that can benefit us and those that we are connected to in any way, and to close very, very tightly all doors, portals, and passageways that can in any way cause harm to you and yours, creating even a deeper level of safety and security within this energetic container, allowing you to simply soften and let go of any effort or work or doing or intention or focus or purpose or goal. Nothing you need do. Simply allow yourself to experience, sensate initially your body. You may experience an energetic sensation within your body, within your energy field, and you may not feel anything. You may start to feel sleepy. Please close your eyes. Please follow whatever it is that your system is indicating to you for you. For that is the deep inner knowledge, the internal wisdom coming from your soul through your wider self, through your energy field into this dimensional experience. I'm going to continue speaking for a couple different reasons. One, so that you are aware that there is a continued connection and it has not been dropped, but primarily because it is not important to follow the words that I'm speaking or the ideas or the concepts, but to simply allow the energetics to transmit through my voice to your system. And the the sacred geometric container is complete at this point, and you are situated within that container in the exact right spot for you, holding profound security and safety. So that you need not effort in any way, allowing either your individual or collective fear to fall away. For in this energetic container, you are exquisitely safe and secure on multiple levels of your being. So we're dropping another level deeper. If you are energetically sensitive, you may be experiencing different things in your body or in your energy field. And if you are not, there is no worry, for each person is so individual and so unique that your experience within this container of these combined energetics of Venus and the beautiful pink supermoon. It's still within 48 hours. The energy is still very strong. Venus corresponding to the heart energy, the high heart, which is actually located in the thymus. So one of the beautiful energetics continuing from last night is the strengthening, the boosting, the activation of your immune system. Fascinating that that is such a presenting planet right now, when our immune systems are so needed to ward off any physical, viral, and you may be experiencing some energetics moving in your abdomen, maybe not. Again, no worries either way. But with that boosting of the thymus, the immune system, there is also a lymphatic component, cleansing, clearing, enabling your system to strengthen overall. For when there is less toxicity within your system, the resistance to anything detrimental is, of course, much stronger. So we're dropping in another level deeper. Nothing you need do, nothing you need know. Simply allow, simply follow your own energy field and wider self They know exactly what to do, how to do this for you. Dropping into levels of creation, for your deep inner being knows exactly what you desire, how you would like your life to be. And that's being anchored more deeply in your physical, material experience. Allow yourself to simply follow, feel, sensate, or not. There is no right way, there is no one way. This is a space within which your way. So hopefully you can hear the music behind me that I keep as a background so that if my voice drops away, you still know there is a connection. I'm going to be silent for a minute or so to deepen the energetics for you to simply allow yourself to experience the level of you in your creation mode, unbound by third dimensional confines at the moment. Out of the bondage of slavery of the old way, to birth and blossom and bloom something new, designing, creating in the great web. And the energetic of magic, which allows for solution beyond imagining, and with incredible rapidity. Magic happens very quickly. So I'm going to take another minute or so in this deep energetic. Luxuriating, nothing you need do, nothing you need know, nothing you need focus on. Allow your energy field and your wider self to lead. As the winds of change blow through, clearing, upending, swirling and mixing, all of the diversity. To land us in a new way. So as this is integrating and incorporating in and through your physical body, human experience. Again, simply allowing, trusting your own wider self, your own energy field, your own way allowing a very organic process, for there is much richness and delicious sensating experience of yourself, both in a less physical state, moving towards a more physical state, oftentimes in that space in between information through symbol, sound, shape, song, song title, storybook, legend, myth, memory, movie, may come into you or open an avenue for a synchronistic arrival to you after the practice. Again, you are welcome to stay in this energetic for a little bit longer or come to a more physical experience in this moment. Again, respect and honor and follow your system's way. And know once again how much you matter, how your very existence is significant and powerful. In our present experience and in the future experience of this planet. Thank you so much for joining me live, and thank you to all of those who may be listening at a future point. Know that you are felt, seen, heard, valued, and honored by me so very deeply. For you are special, significant, purposeful, and vital. to this project we call Earth. Sending so much love, huge hug electronically nowadays more than ever, and hope to see you soon in a coming class, or always. These are on Fridays. I'm going to probably be doing them more frequently, so heads up, I'll try to give you a notice and join me when you can. Much, much, much love. Bye.